Train your mouth to talk, because your life is listening every second and obeying every command you give it, whether you realize it or not. Most people sabotage themselves, not with lack of talent, but with careless words. They speak doubt before effort, fear before action, and excuses before results. The moment you open your mouth without control, you reveal the level of your discipline, because words are not harmless. They are instructions spoken to the subconscious mind, and repeated instructions become habits. Habits form character, and character decides destiny. A person who constantly speaks about problems trains the mind to search for problems, while a person who speaks in terms of solutions conditions the mind to act with authority. Every complaint is a confession of weakness. Every excuse is a resignation letter from your own potential. Strong people do not waste words. They issue commands to their mind. They speak clarity, purpose, and certainty, because focused speech creates focused thought, and focused thought creates unstoppable momentum. If you cannot control your tongue, you will never control your future, because success does not respond to wishful talk. It responds to deliberate language spoken with belief, emotion, and direction. Decide today that every word leaving your mouth will serve your definite aim, because the world does not reward intention. It rewards the individual who has trained their mouth to talk like a leader even before the results arrive. Your mouth is either your greatest weapon or your biggest liability, and there is no neutral ground, because every word you speak is either building your future or quietly destroying it. Most people lose long before they fail in action, because they fail first in language, training their minds to expect defeat by casually speaking doubt, fear, and limitation as if words have no consequences. The mouth is not just a tool for communication, it is a command center, issuing daily instructions to the subconscious mind, and the subconscious does not argue, it obeys. Whatever you repeatedly say about yourself, your situation, your chances, and your limits becomes a belief, and beliefs are not opinions. They are operating systems that run your life in the background. Untrained mouths leak weakness. They complain when pressure arrives, explain why things are hard instead of why they must be done, and speak emotionally instead of intentionally. This kind of talk feels harmless, even honest, but it is lethal to progress, because every complaint reinforces the idea that you are a victim of circumstances instead of the controller of outcomes. The moment you say, "I can't," your mind stops searching for solutions. The moment you say it's too late, your brain shuts the door on effort. People don't realize they are talking themselves out of discipline, courage, and persistence, sentence by sentence, day after day. Strong individuals train their mouths the way warriors train their weapons. They do not allow random words to escape. They speak with direction because they think with direction. They understand that language shapes focus, and focus shapes behavior. When a disciplined person speaks, their words are aligned with a definite aim. They don't announce confusion, they declare intent. They don't narrate fear, they describe action. This is not fake positivity or empty hype. It is mental discipline. They refuse to give verbal power to doubt, because they know doubt grows when fed attention. Your mouth introduces ideas to your mind before the world ever sees them, long before success shows up in reality. It must first exist in language. You talk yourself into effort before effort becomes habit. You talk yourself into persistence before persistence produces results. This is why careless speech is so dangerous. It poisons the soil before the seed ever has a chance to grow. If you constantly talk about how tired you are, your body listens. If you constantly talk about how unlucky you are, your mind searches for proof. Words create patterns, and patterns create outcomes. Most people wait for confidence to speak boldly, but confident people speak boldly first and let confidence catch up. They understand that certainty is trained, not discovered. The tongue is the steering wheel of the mind, and wherever you turn it consistently, your life will follow. When pressure hits, an untrained mouth exposes panic, but a trained mouth issues commands like stay calm, focus, and move forward. These words don't change reality instantly, but they change response, and response is what separates winners from everyone else. If you want power, start with silence and precision. Stop narrating your problems to anyone who will listen. Stop explaining why your situation is different. Stop joking about your lack of discipline as if weakness becomes acceptable when it's funny. Every unnecessary word drains energy. Powerful people are economical with language because they understand that energy wasted in talk is energy stolen from execution. When they speak, it is to reinforce belief, clarify direction, or initiate action. Your environment is always listening, but more importantly, your mind is always listening. It records tone, repetition, and emotion. Speak with authority even when results are not visible yet. Speak with commitment even when motivation is low. Speak in alignment with where you are going, not where you are stuck. This is not about lying to yourself. It is about refusing to sabotage yourself. You don't need louder words, you need disciplined words. Train your mouth daily. Catch weak phrases and eliminate them. Replace explanations with decisions. Replace complaints with commands. Replace emotional reactions with deliberate statements. Over time, your language will sharpen your thinking will sharpen your actions, and your actions will compound into results. Master your mouth, and you master the first gate of self-control. Fail to do so, and no amount of tail. NT, intelligence, or opportunity will save you, because the enemy will not be outside you, it will be speaking from within. Words shape self-image before they shape results, and anyone who ignores this is fighting life with the wrong weapon, because results are nothing more than the visible shadow of an invisible identity. Long before success or failure shows up in action, it first settles quietly into how you describe yourself, your abilities, your limits, and your future. The mind does not rise to what you want, it sinks to what you repeatedly say you are. Every time you speak, you are reinforcing a picture of yourself, and that picture dictates what you attempt, what you avoid, and what you tolerate. Most people think self-image is formed by achievements, but that is backwards. Self-image is formed by internal dialogue expressed outwardly, and achievements simply follow its instructions. When you constantly describe yourself as unlucky, average, confused, or behind, you program the mind to behave in ways that confirm those labels. The brain seeks consistency, not success, so it will subconsciously sabotage effort just to stay aligned with the identity you've spoken into existence. This is why people with potential stay stuck. Their language keeps dragging them back to an old version of themselves. They refuse to let die. Words spoken repeatedly become beliefs, and beliefs quietly set boundaries on behavior. You don't hesitate because you lack ability. You hesitate because your self-talk has trained you to expect failure or embarrassment. You don't quit because the goal is impossible. You quit because your internal language has already decided the outcome. Every "I'm not that kind of person" sentence is a cage you build for yourself, and then you wonder why your life feels small. The mouth becomes the architect of limitation before the world ever has a chance to test you. Strong individuals are obsessive about language because they understand identity is fragile and constantly under construction. They do not allow careless words to define them. They choose language that reflects direction, not mood. They speak about themselves in terms of commitment, growth, and responsibility, even when evidence is thin. This is not arrogance, it is strategy. They know the mind must first accept a new self-image before it will permit new behavior. You cannot consistently act like a leader if you speak like a victim. You cannot build discipline while constantly telling yourself you are lazy. The words don't just describe reality, they train the mind to recreate it. Your self-image determines what feels normal to you. If struggle feels normal, you will unconsciously recreate struggle. If inconsistency feels normal, you will resist structure even when it benefits you. Language is the tool that normalizes either strength or weakness. When you speak decisively, you normalize decisiveness. When you speak confidently, you normalize confidence. Over time, the mind stops arguing and starts obeying. What once felt forced becomes natural, and what becomes natural becomes permanent. Most people try to change their results without changing their language, and that effort always collapses under pressure. The moment stress arrives, the old words return, and with them the old identity. This is why transformation requires ruthless awareness of speech. You must catch the phrases that keep you small, not occasionally, but constantly. You must remove sentences that excuse mediocrity and replace them with statements that demand growth. The mouth is the gateway to the subconscious, and whatever passes through it repeatedly becomes law. This process is uncomfortable because it exposes how much damage you've done to yourself with your own words. But discomfort is the price of rewriting identity. You cannot evolve while protecting old language. The moment you change how you speak about yourself, resistance will appear because the mind hates identity change. Push through it anyway. Speak in alignment with the person you are becoming, not the person you've been rehearsing for years. Results eventually follow because behavior has no choice but to align with identity. When you see yourself as disciplined, you act disciplined. When you see yourself as